Hello everyone, this is Roxx here to talk about sports and entertainment. Now, probably about 5-6 months ago, I posted a series of videos discussing the upcoming exciting boxing match between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Now it was odd because they upgraded it to being a professional fight that would go on their records. There's something a little fishy about that right there. Mike Tyson does not have upcoming fights. He was asked about that, and he said, no, this will be my last fight. So it's going on his record. At least Mike Tyson has a record. He was crowned the champion of world boxing, or WBC, when he was 20 years old. He's the youngest champion ever in boxing. And he has about, 55 fights. So that guy knows what he's talking about and how to handle himself in a boxing ring. And then we have Jake Paul, who has 6 or 7 fights with unknowns. Now, yes, they are known for fighting in the UFC, but they are not known for being boxers. Because, of course, the UFC doesn't include boxing, but it's also a whole lot of mixed martial arts. That's what it is. So, what a great job Paul did with knocking out, I think it's 6 guys, or maybe it was just finished with a split decision or a full decision. And then he also lost a fight to the only guy that was actually relatively closer to his age. And that guy, Tommy Fury, smacked his ass and whooped Jake Paul into a little bitch, because Jake Paul is a crying little bitch. So if he won that fight, he would have been brought into the WBA as a ranked boxer. So the funny thing is that Jake Paul can't even have a pro record because he's not a professional boxer. He may want to be, but he has to get that status. And that status is controlled by the WBA. Nobody else. So Jake Paul can't have a record. Mike Tyson, he's done boxing. He's 58. He's 30 years older than Jake Paul, which shows how low Jake Paul is. Come on, man. That's just a low blow. Beyond that, it was recently released that there is a document of a script for their fight, and it sounds fairly accurate as well. And it's disgraceful. And the real disgraceful part is, when I was watching that match live on Netflix, the whole time I was waiting for somebody to start boxing. I was literally waiting for somebody to start boxing in a professional, quote professional, boxing match with 70,000 seats filled, plus millions more on Netflix around the world. How the hell can they both just kind of jog around for 2 minutes, do some small light punches, and Jake Paul did land 2 good jabs to Tyson's face. They weren't that hard. And Tyson had at least 3 chances where he was loaded up to give a perfect uppercut to Jake Paul's face. So the thing is, Tyson basically landed, 2 jabs with his left hand. And I think he's right-handed. And then you got Jake Paul that landed more crappy, low-level punches. I want to know, first off, how this went 8 rounds with nobody really hitting each other. And beyond that, when the match was done at 8 rounds, there was no blood, there was some sweat. Both of them were absolutely fine, just like they didn't have a boxing match because they didn't have a boxing match. They had a nothing match. That was nothing. It was pointless. Absolutely pointless. Mike Tyson, literally, in slow-mo, you can see him pulling the punch back. That's why they call it don't pull your punches, because it means that you're faking it. Or you're trying to not hurt somebody. Either way, Tyson should have done more. Jake Paul also was too scared to get close to Mike Tyson, so Mike Tyson really didn't get hurt at all. So all of this hype in all of my videos trashing this fight, saying this fight's gonna be boring. Go to my catalog and you'll find at least fights talking about how this fight's gonna be boring. And it was. There's nothing going on. It was just pointless. Complete garbage. Complete garbage. Why? Because both of those guys are itches. Sorry, I don't want to say swearing words or get canceled. But there you go. Now, the worst part, though, is that after they get together, stand side by side, and then the refs make their call, they gave JakePaul the win. Now, the problem is, how can you call a winner over 8 matches with 2 minutes where nobody even gets close to being knocked down? They're barely breaking a sweat. Nobody's going in there to hurt anybody. I mean, like, they might as well have just rolled dice and then said, all evens means you stay, and all odds means we're going to replace, I don't know, JakePaul with Ellen DeGeneres, because I would much rather see her get fake hits than JakePaul getting fake hits, because Tyson was not trying to hit at all. Ellen DeGeneres is not funny, and maybe she needs to get injected with a little bit of adrenaline, because she's just become so boring, bored, and obsolete that I'd like to see her juiced up, because I know she's being totally crushed in modern media right now as being a terrible host, terrible person, even worse, just a terrible human on earth. I don't know, but anyway, that is a joke, of course. I'm not saying that I want to see Ellen DeGeneres in a boxing ring, because I can't think of a weaker chin than her on any female. What's that female who's all spicy in Spanish? Something Vergara. Yeah, see, she, I think, would whoop DeGeneres in a boxing match, because she has that Spanish fire in her, and she wouldn't take no bull crap. Ellen DeGeneres would get crushed by Miss Vergara, just I can't remember her first name, but she's totally stacked and hot. Nothing wrong with that, though. DeGeneres, not so stacked or hot, but I think that I'd at least see her breaking a sweat and getting her adrenaline going. Because that whole bout between Tyson and JakePaul was not just a letdown, it was just depressing to watch two guys doing nothing for at least, 16 minutes of nothingness. Absolutely nothingness. So, whatever, it's done now. The script that they had has been unleashed. There's probably going to be some lawsuits. Probably Netflix wants a lawsuit too, because of the crap that they went through to set this up. And then they didn't even have a boxing match. I remember in grade 3, there's this guy named Dave Cooper and this guy named Doug Linden, and they got to a fist fight, an actual fist fight in grade 3. And it was pretty rough. So how is it that Mike Tyson and JakePaul can't get into a more ferocious fight than two kids in grade 3? Might have been grade 4, but I think it was grade 3. I'm not quite sure though. But that's what went down. What also cracks me up is that this was the battle of the balding, or the battle of baldness, because Mike Tyson's bald, can't grow hair. JakePaul is also bald, but he tries to grow it all to a broccoli cut that gets combed forward, and he tries to wear his hat as much as possible, even if he's sleeping or making love to his Icelandish blonde girlfriend, who's actually really cool. I'm pretty sure she's gonna get rid of JakePaul, because that guy is like the man on the moon. That dude has no idea what's going on planet Earth. Yeah, I said it, planet Earth. So, during the ending, when JakePaul likes to take his winning speech, as he's talking, Logan Paul, his older brother, is spraying JakePaul's sprayable deodorant brand called W on Jake Paul, and then he just knocks off Jake Paul's hat, and you can totally see that his broccoli cut is all bald and it's all wet, so you can see the strands going back to his temple. The guy has like no hair, but he's obsessed with the comb over flip-flop broccoli cut. It's embarrassing. So what does Jake Paul do? He waits about 2 seconds, answers maybe one more question, then goes down really fast to put his hat back on, because he's gonna have to make a quick speech afterwards, and he can't not have his hat on, or else people will find out that he's completely bald, but he's got a perm and tons of hair gel and a curling iron to get it all like broccoli cut out around his hair. See, Mike Tyson does what he should do since he is bald. If you're a man going bald, you don't grow your hair longer to comb it forward or comb it backward if you're balding on the back. What you do is you politely, with great discernment, look and say, am I actually bald or balding? Because if you're somewhat balding, let's say 20-25%, you can pull through it for a short time. Jake Paul's completely bald. Dude cannot grow hair. What he needs to do is shave his head. And Logan Paul needs to shave his head too. Because the fact of the matter is that they're both completely bald. Now, on multiple times, on like Impulsive or just on their shows with Jake Paul and Logan Paul, they've had their dad on. Guess what their dad looks like? Completely shaved head, like buzzed clean, because you can see that he's completely bald, except for that half donut roll around the side of your head. If you're bald, you get that like donut roll right along the side of your head, and his dad's just bald like that. But both of these clowns, Jake Paul, who's 26, who refers to himself as the problem child, and he also refers to himself as a kid. He calls himself a problem child and a kid. He's mentally not in a space where he actually thinks he's a grown-up. He just thinks that he's still Logan Paul's younger brother, so he's younger and still a kid, which is absolute nonsense. And Logan Paul is just the weirdest guy ever, and he's creepy. He had a baby on his lap during Impulsive, and then he like dropped it or whatever. And anyway, Logan Paul was faking that he had a baby, his baby. What a weirdo. I mean, it's fine to not want to project pictures of your child into the public, because lots of weirdos then know what your child starts to look like. So it's absolutely fine to hide the kid and not show the kid in public. But nope, he's holding a fake baby and he like drops it or whatever. And then it's just like nonsense. It's like, wow, that guy would do anything for publicity. Just like Jake Paul wants to look cool and hardcore so much that he's been speed tattooing as fast as he can. That dude is just speed tattooing as fast as he can. The guy's anything on him. Plus a bunch of like satanic ritual tattoos, or like Bilderberg, like signs, and like the triangle with the eyeball and everything. And it's just like embarrassing, because I don't know, it's just like speed tattooing just to look like you're tatted up. That guy could have just gone to prison for a year and come back all tatted up, maybe a little bit looser on the bottom end, because that guy I don't think would do well in prison. Plus, like, that guy eats like filet mignon for like breakfast or nighttime dinners. I doubt he even uses his own deodorant called W, which he branded as being more healthy. The problem is, the entire thing, all of the ingredients are basically the exact same as all other deodorants, meaning they're filled with aluminum, just like endless aluminum. That's not healthy at all. It's also a cancer-causing agent. I have no idea how we've gone this far in life and still have deodorant filled up with aluminum. And if you read the ingredients on the back of his W, I guess that's for a win. First off, the logo looks like the Antichrist logo for anarchy. So it's like an A with like a line through it, but then it turns kind of into a W. So, but yeah, so he also wants to show off his brand name deodorant and Satan. Might as well. I mean, because aluminum can kill you. So there you go. Satan would be in aluminum. What can I say? I mean, I have so much more to say, but I guess I'll stop now or else I'll start to aggravate people. Thanks so much for listening. This is Rexx Roxx. Rexx Roxx out. Please like, comment, and subscribe.